Alright, John, welcome to Buckmore Park. It is the first round of the 2024 Club 100 season. It's a fresh start. We've got some nice, moist track racing for you. And there's also some weird new tarmac here at Buckmore, but we'll get into that later on. As we start heat 1, we're starting in 11th place and straight over the line into 10th, and there's a little bit of load in there, so we're going to gain another few positions actually. There's a few people got stuck on the outside. We're going to get a bit of a tap from behind and get pushed into that guy there, but we do get away with it, and so does he. But we're going to try and get down his inside at the next corner instead. And we can't quite hold it there, but we slot in for the chicane. And apologies if I don't know some names in this one. There's quite a few new drivers that have come up from the juniors this year, so I'll have to get used to that throughout the year. But anyway, we're in P6 here, so it's a really good start from 11th on the grid. And you might be able to notice there's a few changes in the tarmac surface, and that's because they had a bit of resurfacing here at Buckmore as we lose a place to Sam Lovelace there. But there was a bit of resurfacing going on just before this round, and it basically made it so that the new tarmac was extremely grippy and the old tarmac was not. So the lines we were having to take were quite strange. The normal wet line was sort of getting abandoned a little bit, and it did take some getting used to. But we try to make the most of it as we get a good run coming out of hairpin 1 there. We are going to slot down the inside into P6 and trying to follow Sam through here. And Sam was extremely quick on this day, as I think that was Miles Reitman had a spin there, so he must have been tagged by somebody. But yeah, Sam was rapid on this day, so we were trying to follow him through. I think he got a bit of practice on the day before, which helped him out learning the new lines as he goes down the inside of Rihanna Percox. And we are chilling in P5 right now, just trying to learn the lines. It was a little bit of a learning curve really. As you can see at the inside of turn 1 there, normally you'd go to the outside, but you were pretty much keeping a dry line, and there's a bit of tarmac new on the middle there, which was quite helpful. And also a little bit of hairpin 2, which was helping with the traction there. But we'll learn as we go through the day which was a better line to take, as we've caught up to the back of Rihanna here. Quite an established driver in Club 100, but in this particular race we have caught up to the back of her, and she got away from me a little bit there, and I was quite struggling with the paddock corner actually. I always seem to get a bad exit there, as I did with Garda as well. That's the only corner really, the only hairpin that didn't have any new tarmac on it, Garda, so it felt like there was a lot less grip there than there was at the other hairpins. Gained loads on Rihanna into turn 1 there. She's struggling to hold the wheel, oversteering a little bit, and we have got to the back of her, and we've got a good exit out of hairpin 1, so we are going to have a look down the inside of hairpin 2, use that little bit of tarmac to help us rotate there, and we are into P4. Sliding a little bit through the chicane there, but we have managed to hold the position and see if we can get any more positions. It's going to be a little bit difficult now, as there's quite a gap to the next group. Sam has managed to get into second, and I think it's Hussein Rashid up next. And we are going to skip forward a little bit here, and we have managed to catch Hussein a little bit, as we get a bit of a better run through the last corner there, and we're right on the back of him now. So into turn 1 we'll look to see if we can get a run into hairpin 1, and we have got a better run. And I looked down the inside here, but Hussein broke quite late, and I had to sort of bail out and go for the cutback. But because Hussein touched the new tarmac, he got a much better run, despite a normal wet line from me, which would have helped. And I never really got close enough after that mistake. So we did have to settle for P4, which was slightly annoying. I felt like I could have beaten Hussein there, but still not too bad of a start. 11th to 4th. There's quite a lot of C2 drivers on this round, and the class 3s that normally take up the back of the grid, there was only a few of them, so us class 1 and class 2 drivers were having to start a bit further back than normal, which I like, to be fair. Does make for some more action, and we're having to start in 14th for this one. This is the lowest I've started for a while in Club 100, and we're straight up to 13th off the start, trying to go through the middle, and people are getting wedged together there, and we've slipped past a couple of them. And there's more 3 wide action going into the first hairpin, and somebody's gone wide and on the inside lost a bit of time as well, and we've slotted through to 9th, and now we're going to go up the inside into hairpin 2 as well, into 8th. So considering we started on the outside at the back, 6 places gained on the opening sector is a very good return. There's some more jostling going on down the hill. We're just going to try and pick our way through. Haven't had any opportunities yet, and we did think about going down the inside into paddock there, but the space did close, and we actually got tapped from behind there, which caused us to go wide and lose time to the guys in front. And I think there is somebody else pushing me down the inside again, and I was getting a little bit frustrated with that, so I just sort of threw it over the curb there to stay ahead, and we did manage to do that. So now we've got to close the gap to the guys in front again, and I think next up on the list, I think that's Lewis Marchant, maybe, hard to tell from here, but everybody is still fighting a little bit. And Andrew Ravage, I think, down the inside of Harrison Kirkham there, and Harrison's now had to go side by side into the chicane, which you don't really want, and there's a bit of contact between the two of them. They're both ran wide off line, and I'm going to get the cutback on both down the hill into P6. And that chicane was really about sacrificing the first part for the second part in these conditions. It was almost like as soon as you saw somebody go deep into the first part, you knew, almost regardless of how far behind them you were, that you were going to have a chance going downhill. And we are now into the top 6. And there's a few guys battling up front, so hopefully we can gain on them. And there's a little bit of sideways action going on, and turn 1 was kind of weird because you had to drop off the new tarmac onto the old one, so as soon as you dropped off of it you were just sliding, but you had to just live with it and take the early apex, because that was just much faster with the new tarmac. As we have got Andrew Ravage going down the inside into the chicane, but he can't quite make it work, but he has ran over the red paint, and I'm going to slip down the inside very late there, but just about managed to get through into P5. And now there's 2 guys with white helmets and wetsuits on, so that's quite hard to identify them, but they are the next 2 in front of me, and they are having a bit of a battle. And here I saw them going side by side, and there's a bit of contact, so I thought I could get the cut back, but they sort of just parked it in front of me and I had nowhere to go. But going into turn 1, I'm going to try and follow down the inside, but the guy on the inside gets a lot of understeer and sort of gets stuck in front of me, and I did nudge him a little bit there, but couldn't really avoid him. He just got a lot of understeer, but we have benefited from that anyway. And into P3. So moving on from that, we are now going to try and go forward, but I mean, if you can see, the gap there is very big to the front 2, But I did notice going round that the guy in first place, Dan Munro, which is one of the junior graduates I think, had a penalty. So I was thinking to myself, well, I don't know what that penalty is, but I'm probably going to benefit because I think most penalties are at least 2 places in this series. So I was in third, hoping to benefit from that into second, and now I've got Nick Lacasas, who is in the net lead of the race, and we're gaining on him a lot here on the final lap, and I don't think there's going to be enough time left to go for a move, but I was giving it everything I had, knowing that he might make a mistake, but we are going to run out of time here coming through the last few corners, and Nick Lacasas is going to benefit from Dan Munro's penalty and take the win just about, and we're going to come home in second, which I was very happy with, from 14th on the grid. Massive result really, and a fourth and a second from both of my back heats is a good return, especially with these new lower starting positions that we've had so far in 2024. But because I had 2 at the back, that means I am going to have 1 at the front, and it is pole position for this final heat. But there was an extreme amount of talent in this field, so it was always going to be difficult. The lights go green and we're away into the lead. I think we had every single seeded driver in this race except Sam Lovelace, so it's going to be hard. But I've gone a little bit deep going through the first corner, and Ed Bars is going to slip through already. And I thought about staying behind him here, but I did get a run, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go back down the inside and take the lead again, because I can't be faffing about in this race as he tries to hold it there, but I do have the inside for the chicane and keep the lead. But I was just thinking, there were so many good drivers in this race, if I lost the position straight away, I'm not going to be able to control the race anymore, so I just decided to take the lead back, as I didn't know how many more opportunities I was going to have at that. And we're having to go defensive from Ed again here, and I think he has tried to go down the inside of us there. Yeah, just about to see him, but I've held it on the inside of the next corner, but we do get slightly sideways, and that's going to give the opportunity for Dante to slip through on the cutback on both of us, and Ed follows him through, and I am now just going to have to see where they're quicker than me, because as I said earlier, we're struggling to adapt to these weird conditions with the tarmac. So I was just watching here what they were doing, and I saw that Dante was sort of just ignoring the normal line and going straight for the surface. I mean, look at that line, straight to through the middle of the track almost, and or onto the outside where the new tarmac was. So I basically realised from watching now that you just had to ignore the normal wet line and just go wherever the tarmac was. His head actually got a little bit deep there, and I'm going to slip back down the inside of him. Again, normally the tactic is to work with people to get to the leader, but I sort of knew in this race that my pace wasn't going to match theirs, so I had to just take every opportunity I could get for a position. And Ed is now thinking about a move again, but we just about hold him off, and someone's on the cutback of us, so we've had to go a little bit wide, and it's Harrison who's going to nip down the inside now, and he's into second, and straight away goes defensive from us, but we are going to try and hold the position and stay with him. But he got a little bit of a good run there, but we caught him again there, so we've starting to figure out what the line is. As you can see, both of us going for that strange line that Dante opted for. I didn't quite nail it as much as he did. He got a much better release off the corner, but you know, when you're still learning the conditions in the third heat of the day, it's pretty much too late by that point. So I knew it was going to be an uphill struggle from here, but we've still got some good results so far today, and we're still in P3 here, so we'll see what we can do. And I think Ed is again trying to guard her every single lap. He's been hammer inside there, and I've just about managed to hold him off here. And I was opting through a tight line through Cafe here because I just felt like the outside was wasting too much on the entry, but I was clearly wrong because Ed is throwing it around my outside, so that's mugged me off a little bit, and Steph now has followed him through. and I was down to 5th now, and now I was really starting to get my elbows out. I was thinking every single opportunity I've got to take here. I can't be dropping down any more than this. And Steph is right in front of me, and I'm just going to throw it back down the inside, straight onto the black tarmac, and nothing he can do about that. But James Martin's cut back on us and appeared from nowhere and got back past both of us, and now he's gone a little bit deep through the first part of the chicane and goes for the outside line. And I knew that downhill here the new tarmac was giving you so much grip, so I just threw it down the inside and got past him again. And now I'm having to go defensive from the two of them, and it was a really up and down race this, a lot of good battling. So it was a shame it wasn't on the live stream this round, because this race would have been very interesting to watch with all the back and forth battling. But that is where we finished. We're skipping to the end. Harrison actually got a penalty for something, I'm not sure what, but we managed to gain a position from that and get back to 3rd. But that was quite a poor race there. We just dropped back from the quick guys, but because of the 4th, 3rd and 2nd that we had, we still managed to get 4th on the grid for the A final, which was pretty good considering I wasn't that comfortable in these conditions. So we're going to try and see what we can do. We're straight away going to lose a position of being on the outside. It wasn't a great start from me and Sam there, to be honest. So Dante leads, and Sam's straight away trying to get back down the inside of Andrew McWilliam, who had a really good day here. And James Martin is on our inside there, and we're going to try and get back the inside of him, and we might as well go for Sam as well, but we got wedged between two people there and lost out, and Harrison's going to slip through as well. So actually lost 2 positions on the first sector there, so not ideal. And we're just going to see if we can stay with the front guys here. Harrison got a little bit of a poor run there, and again with my mindset of getting every position I can, I just throw it down the inside of him. I'm not going to take any prisoners here. Straight back into P5, and James Martin's up next. See if we can gain on him. But the track was a lot drier in this race than it was in the heat, so we was having to adapt a little bit more. I think we were going about 4 or 5 seconds quicker here than we were in the heat races, and it was pretty much just as long as you kept a wheel on the new tarmac, you were going to be alright. And James got a little bit sideways there and sort of blocked us off from doing the line we wanted to do. This chicane was almost flat out in this race, which it was nowhere near in the previous, and I probably would have gone for that move down the hill into the heats, but because the chicane was flat out, we were carrying a lot more speed, so it was a lot more risky, and I didn't go for it. And again, as I mentioned earlier, I was struggling through paddock, and I lost time to James there and got really deep at Garda and touched the red paint, which is a definite no-no in the damp conditions on this track. So Harrison slips back through as a result of that, and we are back down to P6. But again, it's still not too bad of a result in P6. You know, I wasn't too comfortable with these conditions, and I'm still going to take some decent points as Harrison goes for a massive lunge there, but doesn't pay off and ends up just costing me a little bit of momentum actually, but no positions lost, so that's fine. He's trying to make up time after his penalty in the previous heat, and James Martin is the one stopping us from getting to the top 3, but I don't think I had the pace to catch that anyway, and I've lost out to Harrison there as well. So it was a little bit disappointing after the season opener race, which there was no cameras for, but I did manage to win my race in that, so I was coming into the first round with a lot of confidence, and that was obviously in the dry, and this was in the wet with new tarmac, so it wasn't exactly gone to plan. But Harrison has slipped through James Martin, and I'm just going to go for a massive lunge, and that was a little bit reckless. We did make a bit of contact, but I was just trying to get every opportunity I could, and to be fair, I probably on another day could have been penalised for that one, but got away with it this time. And now in 5th, and we've got the recovering Ed Bars coming through, and he nips past us. I think he had a little bit of a stinker in one of the heats, so it started a little bit further down, but he was definitely on the pace here, and I think he got the fastest lap in the end. So we tried to tuck behind him and follow him, but that is going to be in vain, as his pace was just I was not able to match it in this one. We're staying with him to start with a little bit, and I think we were quite quick going down this hill, but yeah, and in the long run we are not going to be able to stay with him, unfortunately, and we are just going to have to settle here in P6. There wasn't really much competition for my 6th position after this, as we just lost out to Ed. As you can see, he's completely disappeared as we go on to the final lap, and I just couldn't keep with the top 5 in this one, unfortunately, but hopefully the next round we will be able to, and a different day we'll see what happens. But yeah, in all things considered, I wasn't too comfortable with the conditions in this one, and I still came out with pretty decent points, so we are going to come towards the line and finish 6th out of 74 in total. And yeah, 6 out of 10 for that one. I wasn't too pleased, but yeah, in hindsight you've got to just take the points. Considering it wasn't a great round for me, I've still come out of it in 5th in the championship, as you're about to see on your screen, and only 18 points off the lead. So yeah, wasn't a great round, but I'm still not too far off, so hopefully we have a better day at GYG, which is the next round. Unfortunately it's a couple of months away, because Wilton Mill was meant to be in between, but it's been postponed, so a bit of a while till the next one, unfortunately. But that is round 1, and that is the end. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see what we can do for the rest of the championship. Cheers, goodbye.